Welcome to Straight Up Dog Talk, a new kind of podcast where no topic is off limits. We're bringing in experts and owners to have the conversations we should be having as a dog community. Each week, a new guest will share firsthand experiences, educational resources, or professional guidance to help you learn and grow along with your dog. You won't get one perspective here, you'll get them all, because every dog is different and every owner is too.
You can follow along on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook at Straight Up Dog Talk, or by visiting www.straightupdogtalk.com. Tune in from any of your favorite podcast platforms.
This episode is sponsored by Pet Matrix Premium Canine Supplements. Straight Up Dog Talk is super excited to be partnered with Pet Matrix. After exhausting several other pet supplemental brands, I am now seeing the results that I have always been searching for Toby and Fitz. Pet Matrix supports all three pillars of canine wellness using their cell matrix delivery. It delivers nutrition directly into the cell. If you're looking for a supplement that pairs with nature and science, look no further and get your dog on Pet Matrix today.
Welcome to Straight Up Dog Talk. I'm Em, and I'm back again this week with Tanisha from Pet Matrix. We wanted to give you guys a follow-up. You guys had a lot of questions in regards to some of the terminology and more in-depth information about the products. So Tanisha is here today, and we'll be back again for more of your questions. But we're going to jump in today and kind of just talk a little bit about the Thrive Packs and how they help your dogs. And I'm going to kind of let Tanisha lead this conversation because it's really more information on your side than my side. So I'm just going to let you jump in and tell everybody what's up.
Awesome. So glad to be back in the Straight Up Dog Talk community, and always love being on here and just really chatting about all things dog wellness and what that really looks like from a whole encompassed program. Like Emily mentioned, my name is Tanisha. I am the Director of Education and co-founder of Pet Matrix. And we are going to be talking about our Thrive Packs and really what makes them very specifically unique to supporting your dog in all three pillars of canine wellness, but at the same time, also setting the standard of understanding what the difference is with these supports that we are using for so many different types of dogs who are in regenerative health situations, from dogs that are looking to support themselves in a preventative state as well, and really understanding what it is that we at Pet Matrix are doing that is changing the entire game in the canine supplement industry. And, since the last time that I've been on this show, oh my gosh, there has been so much growth. Our community has really expanded from all different dog communities, whether it's pet dogs, working dogs, service dogs, and all really different types of communities and exposures to, at the end of the day, meeting the needs for these dogs to up-level their quality of health and wellness. So I know, Emily, you've been using our Thrive Pack supports for both of your dogs, which we absolutely love, and that's super exciting. But what is it that we are really doing at Pet Matrix? And that's what I'm going to answer right now. So as a whole, in very simple sentence, I always let people know at Pet Matrix, we deliver nutritional compounds and peptides into your dog's body with a pharmaceutical punch. And that's literally what we do. The technology that we use is cell matrix delivery, which we call CMD. And we use this pharmaceutical technology to deliver antioxidants, compounds, and peptides, which are amino acids, to literally jumpstart, biohack, and restore your dog. So within our Thrive Pack, we have a support called Protect. Protect is our immune and gut support. What makes Protect so essential to your dog if your dog is having allergies, gut issues, hot spots, goopy eyes, red paws, the typical everyday scenario situations that dogs are experiencing. Protect is really that product that is going to be able to seal and heal your dog's gut. But what is it that is actually being able to do that within our supports for your dog? And that's really when it comes down to the peptides. We have peptides, KPV, along with BPC 157. And it's really important to understand that with peptides, The typical way you can really get peptides in the body is via injection. We don't have to do that. And so it's so funny that the timing of being on this podcast right now, I would say in the past week and a half or so, we've had a giant influx of human biohackers. And so what is a biohacker? And we love to say at Pet Matrix that we are biohacking dogs. And basically it is a way to hack the system, the body's intelligence, to integrate the jumpstart aspect of the nervous system, the gut, that internal intelligence of the dog to restore itself. So with CMD, we have the ability to do that. And with these peptides, KPV and BPC-157, we can seal and heal that gut. And what the peptides do is they actually stitch the gut lining back together. So if you think of a sewing machine, and let's just say you have a torn shirt, and you need to sew that torn shirt and put that fabric back together so there's no longer a hole. The peptides within Protect do that to the gut lining. And so we've also talked about on our Instagram, if you're not following us, definitely go follow us at Pet Matrix on Instagram. We've talked about the use of probiotics because typically everyone is going to go run to probiotics to help support their dog's gut lining. But what you want to actually do is support the gut lining and repair it, seal those holes so that then those probiotics can actually be held in suspension within the gut so that those probiotics are not leaking into the bloodstream. And that's really the biggest error that the canine supplement industry has marketed to the people, because probiotics themselves are a complete industry. They do work, but they can only work if they have the proper environment to do so. And that's really where sealing and healing the gut is critically important with our Protect support. So over on our website and even on our Instagram, we have so many people who are commenting on how much Protect has helped their dog, again, from leaky gut situations, IBD, IBS, hot spots, allergies, goopy eyes, red paws, biting paws, licking paws, hot spots. I don't think I said that yet. But, all these aspects. And then within that Thrive Pack, we also have Move. And excitingly, through spring and summer, we're actually doing weekend giveaways every single weekend. So if you guys are listening to this, you definitely want to jump into our weekend giveaways because we give away a Move every single weekend. And Move is critically important for dogs of all ages. And basically what we do is we are supporting the dog with a full anti-inflammatory support, joint support, musculoskeletal support. Why is this important to be able to support your dog from the very beginning as much as possible of their early age? Well, these dogs are going to have compounding inflammation as they grow in their daily exposure to internal and external environmental stressors, even things that they're picking up within their olfactory system, which is their sense of smell. Those things can actually impact your dog's inflammatory load, which impacts their musculoskeletal system as well. So keeping your dog in an anti-inflammatory state and literally being able to jumpstart their system to help their system identify pathogens, bacteria, things that create inflammation, and helping that system have an internal resilience that's so much stronger to defend itself. Because when the body as a whole is in an inflammatory state where it's too much inflammation, because there's the proper amount of inflammation, which is the internal alert system for the body to actually say, hey, there's something wrong. We need to send our little internal army to go and fight this war right now so that we can establish a home space and homeostasis. We can have a healthy body with a healthy immune system with the right amount of inflammation. But when we have too much inflammation going on in the gut and in the body as a whole, depending on the types of stressors that these dogs are exposed to, then that balance beam gets a little bit more tipped over, and we shift from acute inflammation, which is something that's immediate, to chronic inflammation, to where it's way too much inflammation, and now we don't know how to establish balance again. So Move really helps to support the entire body as a whole, along with joint support, musculoskeletal support. And then the third support that we have within our Thrive Pack is Think. This is one that is really overlooked by many people who have dogs. And it's really important to understand that the nervous system, think supports the nervous system. It's really important to understand that the nervous system literally controls everything from digestion, your dog's colon being able to move material, digested foods out of the body through defecation. That entirely involves the nervous system, peristalsis, to create contraction within the gut. Your dog's heartbeat is electrically conducted. So many things, your dog's bladder, the ability to urinate, that is all the nervous system. And so we look at the things that impact the nervous system on a daily basis, from behavioral stress, trauma, again, more internal and external stressors, chemicals they're exposed to indoors and outdoors, these types of things that impact the nervous system. So we use this as a way to recalibrate the nervous system, to bring the nervous system back to a healthy baseline. And what this allows the dog to experience is a decompressed, stabilized, operating nervous system with healthy signaling, so that now this dog can intake information appropriately and send the proper signals, which we most often see in behavior, their ability to focus, to have clarity, and even healthier decision making. We've seen things like greater bladder control. We've seen things like greater defecation control for dogs who experience such great levels of nervousness and anxiety that they defecate, which is often referred to as an adrenal dump, because their adrenals are constantly overfiring. So we really encourage people to get on board, if they're able to, with a full Thrive Pack, so that they are supporting all three pillars of canine wellness by supporting the gut and immune system, supporting the entire body as a whole with move, musculoskeletal support, along with nervous system support with Think. And then I think the last time I was on your show, I don't think we had Calm. Did we have Calm?
We talked a little bit about Calm, but I don't think that you guys were.
Yeah, I don't think,
because we have used Calm for a while now.
Yeah, I don't think we had it. I don't think we had it yet. So Calm, basically, the difference between Think and Calm. Think is food for the nervous system, daily support for the nervous system, programming for the nervous system. Whereas Calm is much more used as an on-demand support. So prepping your dog for an environmental experience that you know that your dog has a trigger with. So I think you had used Calm during storm season, right?
We've used it for storms, and we also use it in the evenings when I'm trying to get Fitz to come down from the ball high.
Yes. Okay. Awesome. So yeah, and that's actually a really good point too. Aside from environmental triggers and factors that impact the dog nervous system from, a drive state, so to speak, we also use the Calm spray as an on-demand support for dogs that are also in the working space too, helping dogs achieve greater states of sleep. So that when they are being kenneled, if you do kennel your dog at night, the dogs can actually achieve that deeper level of rest so that their bodies have the ability to recover. So when all of the supports are being used together, this is literally what we call a full encompass support. And it really is biohacking your dog, because it's literally triggering the body to say, oh, wow, I have so many of the supports that I need in order to function. So let me go ahead and jump on that train and have a healthy operational system, so that now the dog internally and externally is able to operate in its full capacity and function as a dog. And so that's really the biggest difference in what we're doing with CMD, is delivering these compounds and these peptides through our technology, bypassing the blood-brain barrier, so that these dogs are not having to digest their supports. And with that being said, all of the other companies that are existing within the industry, let's just make a broad statement: 90% of the companies that exist in the industry, 90+%, let's be real generous, 90+% of the companies that exist in the industry, they don't have the ability to do this. And that is the differentiator, because most supplements, they have to be digested. They are taxing the liver. They have to go through digestive processes. Their pancreas has to produce enzymes in order to break them down. So you look at that, and then you look at other additives that are added into supplements as well. The stress that that creates within the body too, whether it's a chew, whether it's a powder, tablet. Not too many companies, thank goodness, use tablets, because those require thousands of tons of pressure to actually put into a tablet and then having to metabolize it to break it down. So that's a different game too. But we don't have to go through those processes because of the encapsulation of what we do with our technology. It is able to crush to that blood-brain barrier so that the liver's not being overstimulated. In fact, not at all. So that the digestive organs aren't having to start pumping out enzymes and all these things in order to break these supplements down. So for the dogs who are having more of a challenge, let's just say they're an elder dog who has compounding inflammation that's built up within its system. Those are most often the dogs that we see very fast results from, because their bodies just soak up the antioxidants and go into a serious anti-inflammatory state. And then all of a sudden, these dogs just start bouncing back within a week's time, let's say 2. But realistically, we most often hear feedback a week. And these dogs start acting like puppies again. They start going to the toy bin again, things that they haven't done in years. We have reports from people who have had dogs start jumping into trees again, 7-foot trees again, dogs that are initiating play with their owners. Like that's a huge indication of cellular energy, vitality, metabolic energy coming back into the dog, because you are decreasing inflammation. And when you can actually decrease inflammation, you have a whole different cell that's operating. Now, you don't have this, like, if you think about like a balloon, okay, you're blowing up a balloon. And the more you blow up that balloon, it gets stuffed and stuffed with air. The more air that's in the balloon, less space it has to puff up, but it's so swollen, right? That's a dog that's experiencing a lot of inflammation. It's full of air, swollen. The balloon can't expand anymore. It's the cell as well. It just gets stuffed. But then as you start releasing that air from the balloon, which is inflammation, you start releasing the inflammation from the body. All of a sudden you have all this extra room in the balloon. It can expand and it can deflate, and it can have room to increase energy. It can metabolically heal. And so what we talk about at Pet Matrix is, dogs that have energy, they have this stigma. And I'm so glad that we're in that time of day now where that stigma is actually changing, where energetic dogs are good dogs. Whereas maybe 5 years ago, as little as that, energetic dogs, oh gosh, you have a high energy dog. Yeah, I have a high energy dog and I'm proud of that. What does that really mean? Okay, if my dog has that much energy to expend, and what we're not talking about is a behaviorally misconducted dog. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about a high energy.
We're talking about a fits.
Yeah. If we have a high energy dog, that dog is showing you that it has the capacity and the ability to have freed up space, freed up metabolic energy to heal. But if we don't see these things, we should really be looking at this as a state of inflammation, a state of stagnation within the internal system, within that nervous system, that it's not firing properly, because your dog is not supposed to be in a lethargic state. And so many people have gotten used to this concept that, oh, my dog is so calm. The majority of the time, they're just really lethargic and they're overwhelmed with inflammation, and they don't know how to get out of it because their environment's not changing. So as the humans, the people that have the ability to make that influence with their dog, this is really what we're doing with Pet Matrix. And we have the ability to help these people help their dogs, put their dogs in anti-inflammatory states, make the other changes, because it's not ever just going to be our supplements that are required. Do they work? 1000%. But anytime we're speaking with people, whether it's a phone consult, whether it's via email, whether it's in our DMs on Instagram, we are always going to tell you that you should most likely be doing other things aside from our supplements to help support your dog from the inside out. And when you can really couple everything together, getting on a healthy training protocol, getting on cleaner dog food, ushering in the Pet Matrix supplements, making sure that you're getting adequate exercise, clean quality of water, minimizing as much chemical exposure as possible inside and outside of the home. All of these things can work together. And when you can get everything to work together, you have a pretty sound and promising protocol in place for your dog. And you will be able to notice and see those physical differences and within their energy as well. So, we're really looking at all of that as a biohacking approach from a technology approach with CMD. We are very loud and proud in our ability to biohack dogs because at the end of the day, nobody is doing it because they can't. They don't have this type of technology to do this. And I have also been very proudly and confidently letting everybody know that as a company specializing in what we do intend to reset the bar as we already are, but to continue raising the bar and essentially take over the canine supplement industry and let people know that this system is what's needed for the dogs in order for these dogs to actually have an optimal life. Because what's been happening to them over the past 5 decades, it's not fair. And on the human end, we are paying the price of having to deal with the vet situations, all the level of chronic illness with dogs that's taking place, all the digestive challenges that are taking place. There's no reason that dogs should be getting sick with chronic illness at 2 years old. That shouldn't be the reality. There's no reason that we should have such an epidemic of behavioral challenges. There's no reason that we should be having dogs that have Alzheimer's, dementia at such young ages, and it's happening more often, or dogs with vitiligo. These are all things that we have the ability to actually help and support and reprogram. So the fuel to our fire at Pet Matrix is create the change. And I know within our community of consumers, and then at the same time with all of our ambassadors, we're very, very grateful for all of our ambassadors because they are really helping us set the tone of this. What do you want to call it? Wanted to call it a marching band, but that's not what I want to say.
Industry revolution.
Yeah. Thank you. Comrades of the revolution. We're so grateful for all of our ambassadors because they're all canine wellness advocates themselves in all of their individual ways. And we know that we couldn't do this without our entire community as a whole. For those of us who are choosing to trust us and incorporate us and literally take a leap of faith with us for their dogs and delivering those results. So,
well, I mean, and the proof is in the pudding. I have seen massive changes in both of my dogs. I mean, I've worked with you on getting their diets changed, getting them onto the Thrive packs, integrating the Calm into helping, with our evening routines. And as much as I hate to say this, I want to make a point here. My high energy dog has even more energy, after being that matrix for months and months and months now.
Yes.
So it's wonderful to see him doing well. And, Toby too, with his pancreatitis, he's had one pancreatic flare up since he's been on Pet Matrix. And this was something that was happening every few weeks or every other week or, whatever. We keep medicine in our drawer. I have a refill the prescription without an appointment situation at my veterinarian's office. That's how often it was happening. But since he's been on the Protect and the whole Thrive pack, but the Protect for this issue specifically, he hasn't had any issues. And it's just been so amazing to know that he's not struggling, and to know that, like the change of the diet and the supplements and everything is giving him a better quality of life. And that is why I support you guys so much, because it has changed a lot for me. I think that the biggest question that I get over and over and over again when it comes to supplements, and when I tell people, oh, well, talk to Tanisha, she can answer this question for you. So I'm going to ask you on the podcast, because I want the listeners to hear this, and I want it to get repeated and repeated and repeated, because I think the most amount of confusion that comes for people is over supplementing. How do I know what to give? How much do I give? When do I, well, what if this one covers this and this, but then I give this and it also covers this and this, but it has like 8 other things. That's what I love so much about Pet Matrix, is that I know that I don't have to look, like I can add, my raw goat milk or raw milk or whatever in with it. I can add my eggs. I can add, whatever I want on top of it. But supplement wise, I don't need to think about it. I just do 1 scoop of each thing and that's it. And I'm done. So can you kind of just explain to people like why giving your dog like 7 or 8 different supplements is a problem, and what kind of problems that can cause for dogs?
Yeah, definitely. So this really goes back down to kind of what we were talking about before with other companies, where it doesn't matter what type of supplement it is, whether it's a fish oil pump or whether it's a topper, the dog still has to digest that supplement. So if there's a dog that is experiencing existing inflammation, and it can even be a small amount of inflammation, let's just say a chronic inflammatory state. If your dog is in any type of inflammatory state, you already know, and if you don't know, you do know, that your dog's liver is overtaxed, meaning that it's being punched out every single day. The liver is the most busy yet laziest organ in the body, and it has to combat every single thing that your dog's body is interacting with and engaging with. So when we add in a supplement that is not being delivered into the bloodstream like Pet Matrix is, now you have more exposure to more waste, more filtration. The other thing that you want to think about too is that there's a huge level of bioavailability issues within compounds. So one of the most popular compounds being added to pretty much every supplement in the industry is turmeric or curcumin. That has a very low level of bioavailability. And if you don't know what bioavailability is, that is the amount of nutrition that the body is actually able to utilize and absorb. So turmeric or curcumin has a bioavailability anywhere from 5 to 10%. People are adding a ton of turmeric to their products, or people are adding it directly into their dog's bowl. So now when you have compounds that are very low in their bioavailability, when you hear that, that should equal more waste, more liver stress. So then you have things like fish oils. A lot of people love to add fish oil to their dog's food as a way to help support their skin and coat. Fish oil, not saying that the omegas aren't needed by the dog, because they are, but fish oil is really just a Band-Aid effect to skin and coat issues, to cognitive issues. Why not just have a direct route? Why not just have a sardine? That'll solve the problem right there. Some mackerel. That'll solve the problem right there. Why do we need to be pumping fish oil? Fish oil is oxidized. So you have fish oil that's oxidized. That just means it's rancid. So now you're pumping inflammation into your dog's food.
Wow.
But as a human, that makes us feel really good because it's oily. It's an oily substance. Of course, we are even programmed to believe, oh, this is so nourishing for my dog. Are there good qualities out there? Yes. Are they more expensive? 100%. Pollock oil is a go-to for many people versus, standard wild-caught salmon oil. There's different suppliers. A lot of these companies, too, will use, because you can cut oils these days with seed oils, and they don't have to document them legally. So the challenge with that is that any type of seed oil is inflammatory. And so many of these companies as well are able to cut their fish oil with seed oils, and they don't have to legally document it. So these are little tidbits of the industry that, And so that's why, as a company with Pet Matrix, we're never here to slam another company, but at the same time, as a supplement company for dogs, we also have a responsibility to let everybody know about what happens in the industry and why we don't choose to participate in white label manufacturing. Because as a white label manufacturer, like many of these companies are, you can go to a supplier and say, hey, I have X amount of dollars in my pocket. I'd love to start a company. What formulas do you already have ready to go? I've got my labeling ready. I just have to put the label on a package. I'm going to start a company. And then they have deep pockets for marketing. And then they can market all over and look and appear like a real sound company. And that is the problem in the industry. So we don't operate like that. We have a lab, a biochemist. It is our lab. We have R&D. We create our peptides. We don't outsource. And so this is what allows us to have so much control, along with third-party testing and testing for molds and pathogens and bacterias while we are in R&D, before packaging and even after. That's a huge thing that people are not considering when they're looking to buy a product, because they themselves feel, especially if their dog is already experiencing something, they themselves feel, I need to find something to help my dog. And I'm reading this label, and this label is giving me hope, so I'm going to buy it, not realizing all of the things that happen in the industry.
I think that's a huge part of it too, is that like the label reading, like everything that I have learned over the last 2 years about labels and what can be put on labels and how it's not regulated, and what should be the first 5 things that you see and what you don't want to see, and the thing that you spoke about earlier about the pressure on pills and how much more effort that takes for your body to unwind it. Like, I did not know any of that stuff. And so, you think about all of that, and then you look back at the human side of it and you kind of just go, holy cow, like, what am I doing to my body that is, if like this is affecting my dog's body this much, like, what am I doing to my body? So we need to like have Matrix for people too.
Well, it's so funny you say that, because we always tell people that we are human tested, pet approved. We actually, we don't market to people saying, hey, our products are for people. But we have a great amount of people within our community as consumers who, they don't just purchase product for their dogs, they purchase it for themselves too. And, again, we don't market that, but we let people know, hey, like, they are human grade, compounds. So if you'd like to do that, that's entirely on you. We have people who have left reviews about their own personal use of our products for themselves and their own digestive issues. And like I said earlier, right now, we actually have a huge amount of people coming in who are human biohackers, who they use peptides. They inject BPC 157, the peptide that we use in our Protect. They inject it for themselves. So they have had such positive results injecting peptides in for themselves for their tears of their muscle tissue, for their digestive issues, IBD, IBS, leaky gut. They've had so many results for themselves that naturally they want to look to see if there's anything out there for their dogs. And guess what? We're the only company that does. And so
good to be in the front.
It is very good to be in the front. And peptides, you should not underestimate them. They are amino acids. And guess what our bodies are composed of? Amino acid chains. It's what makes our tissue. And our dogs, their metabolic system is so much more sensitive than ours because their systems run so much faster than ours do. So they're going through cellular degradation, cell breakdown at such a faster rate than we are, that we have to pay attention to what they're being exposed to. What am I giving my dog that is going to either help his metabolic rate and stress or break it down further? I don't want to break my dog's metabolic power down further. No way, no how. So what can I do? Okay, let me give it a supplement, a support, and a healthy food system and an exercise protocol that is going to upregulate my dog's metabolic system so that it's fully functional and has vitality to restore it.
And I think that, that's something that I don't think people talk about a whole lot either, that I'm really getting into as well myself, is about how important canine conditioning is. I mean, and physically training your dog to do, certain things. And especially, I've learned a lot from the sports world and then like the service dog world too, because they kind of cross over in that area. Your dog has to have the ability to, help you get down. If you're having a seizure, they have to be able to, pull you forward or push you up if you're falling out of your wheelchair, or even, pull you through a door or things like that. And there's so many different techniques and so many different muscles and so many different, things that are incorporated into all of this. And I just don't think that a lot of people realize that there would be a lot less TPLOs or ACL tears or, just injuries in general if we have the right supplements, the right diet, and we're actually exercising our dogs in the proper way. Because, just a standard walk is exercise, and it's probably a pretty good outlet for a lot of breeds. That's probably just fine. But some of these, more active breeds that are, working dogs, guardian dogs, herding dogs, all that kind of stuff, they need a little bit more, attention and focus on certain areas of their body. And why not just, give them that extra support, learn about how to do it correctly, and then support them with the Thrive Pack and the diet. Really just, and I think that it's so amazing that so many people are so much more invested in their dog's health now. Like, I could tell you, as a vet tech, they educated us on diet, and they would come in and they would tell us, the kibble brands and this and that and Royal and Science Diet, Blue Buffalo, all of them. They came in and they talked to us, and they would tell us all about their products and why it was good and this and that and the other thing. And so, you learn a lot about those things. But now there's so many more brands of food that exist that if you don't know anything about what you're getting into, you just look at things and go, huh?
Yeah.
Which one?
Well,
why?
And that's exactly it. We had a dog that had started our supports maybe about 3 weeks ago. And I had met this dog actually, and it was a dog that was incredibly inflamed, like just visually. Its abdomen was completely distended, had an incredibly thick neck, and this dog's head was smaller than its body. So, its condition score was not very great. And the dog had pancreatitis. So it's a very bloated dog. And so this dog started Protect as a baseline. And what ends up happening for dogs that have serious inflammatory challenges is the first 1 to 2 weeks, they can go through a stool adjustment, meaning their stools can get a little bit softer. And for some dogs, it just can look a little bit different depending on their state of inflammation. And I received a phone call like, oh my gosh, like my dog had diarrhea. What's my response? Amazing. What? What do you mean amazing? Yes, your dog, just like a human, has to go through a purging process, a cleansing process. So for these dogs that get on our anti-inflammatory supports, specifically Protect, and if they have an existing condition, an inflammatory condition that involves their gut, they go through a clearing process. And then in about 1 to 2 weeks, that stool recalibrates, and now you have a healthier stool that is firmed up, not so loose, because the gut has literally gone through a process of purging mucus, purging that inflammation to reestablish a healthy gut line. And so, this poor person freaked out. we'll just put it like that. Freaked out and went directly to the emergency vet, and then began incorporating antacids, anti-diarrhea medications, and, basically stuffed the system back up. And we're always here to let everybody know, like, listen, like, we can blend in with any type of medical protocol when it's necessary. But if a medical approach is not necessary, you, as the dog owner, have to be able to know the difference of your dog. How is your dog behaving? What has your dog been exposed to in its history? Is this necessary? do I need to allow my dog to go through this process temporarily so that we can get on the other side of this? And so that's really what we love to do at Pet Matrix when it comes to people who are using our product, is literally to help our consumers become empowered to make healthy decisions and know what is proper protocol for a dog, what's necessary for the dog to go through, and know how to make the healthy decision of medical intervention with a vet that understands what you're looking to achieve. Because if you have a conversation with your vet and you tell your vet, I am looking to incorporate a healthy, natural approach for my dog, I need your help to get me there. If you communicate with your vet that way, you're giving your vet the opportunity to either help you or for them to tell you that they can't help you. And that's okay if they can't. Now you have the open door to find a vet that can. And so we really love being able to help empower people to understand that they can take control of their dog's health, even if they don't know anything. They can if they communicate with their vet appropriately. And I'm sure you've experienced that too.
Oh, I mean, 100%. I mean, there are definitely, people who immediately always are going to just jump straight to the vet.
Yeah.
And I mean, unless you have a friend who is, a vet tech or a retired vet tech. I mean, I can tell you, I get lots of phone calls and lots of text messages, lots of DMs. Hey, could you, I'll get lots of pictures of poop. I do get lots of pictures of poop.
Oh, yeah. I get lots of them. Lots of that.
But, it's just, that's like part of the whole thing. And I mean, yes, I completely agree with you on that. Like, you do kind of have to wait to get to the other side of it. Everything takes time and you have to take those steps and you have to get through the process. And we experienced that too. We had weird poop for a couple of weeks and now we have healthy poops and, healthy poops are, that doesn't always mean that they're uniform in color, but they're at least, sturdy, poop and they're smaller. It's not just this blurb of extra stuff that comes out, because your dog is actually utilizing the stuff in its body. It's processing the food and actually taking those nutrients in instead of just expelling everything that the body can process. And it's such an interesting thing to see because, it was a 50-pound dog and a 12-pound dog who I always was like, this dog has the most ginormous poops. He's like a Chihuahua. He's tiny. Why is his poop this big? And now, when he poops, it's oh, okay, I feel like this is a more appropriate, size of the poops. And another thing about poop is that, the right firmness of poop helps with anal gland expression. And if you have, natural, good, firm poop coming out instead of mush or half diarrhea or soft at the end or whatever, you're less likely to have those problems where, you have ruptures or leaky anal glands or really, they still smell bad. They're always going to smell bad because that's, unfortunately, one of the side effects of anal glands. But you have less problems with infection and blockage and, just all kinds of things that happen because when your dog poops, they express naturally like they're supposed to because it's part of the whole process of that's how the body works, right? The firmness of the poop activates the anal glands, they express, that helps the poop slide out easier and everything is golden. But a lot of people just don't realize how much these little things, they feel like little things, 3 scoops a day and the right diet can change your dog's life.
Literally changes everything. We've had dogs who have had critical pancreatitis along with stage 4 IBD, who, again, dogs that have been on prednisone and in 4 weeks time, are able to go to their vet and say, okay, I've begun incorporating a natural lifestyle. I'd like your help to titrate down off of this medication, and dogs are achieving it after sealing and healing their gut and supporting all 3 pillars of canine wellness. So you have dogs that are getting off of medication based on guidance by their owners and support from their vet. That's what we're talking about here, so that these dogs can actually be dogs. Dogs that don't have to depend on lifelong medication if there's an opportunity to break away from that.
Yeah. And I mean, it's incredible too. I mean, that's another thing that I've noticed with the Protect is that, we have seasonal allergies in this house. And this year I don't think we used any Benadryl this spring and summer, which was just incredible because, normally it's like, okay, every day, everybody, I'm taking my Zyrtec, the dogs are getting their Benadryl. And I don't think that we even used Benadryl at all. Because normally we go through pill pockets like, they're candy at the candy store, and I still have a whole bag of them. So
that's amazing. You love that.
It's very unusual for us, but I love it too. And it's just incredible. And that's why I'm just like, I want to share Pet Matrix with everyone, and as much as, as often as I can, and educate them as much as I can and send them your way, because it has made such a big difference in my dog's lives that I know that we're like lifers. Like as long as I have a dog, Pet Matrix will be in my house,
I love that. So good.
Yeah, we love it. It just, it's so amazing to know that there are companies out there that want to be the change, that want to be like, 100%. Hey, we're trying to help you. We're trying to be reasonable about it. And we're trying to make it easy for you. Like I said, like, you can take one scoop from 3 different jars a day instead of, did I do 7 pumps or 8 pumps? Did I, put the right topper on? Did I do the correct thing? It's too confusing. I don't have time for all of that.
Yeah. It's too confusing and too taxing on the dog.
Absolutely. Taxing on the dog.
Yeah. So, and that's really it. We're here to make it easy. We're here to simplify things and make life with your dog healthier and more fun, and give everybody more opportunity to spend time with their dogs and extend their quality of life. I mean, we've had people who are in the working dog space with protection dogs, sports dogs, who their dogs are considered veterans in their arena, and they get exposed to our supports. And in conversation with these people, in the very beginning, they're like, yeah, I'm going to be retiring my dog next year. And then within a matter of, let's just say 14 to 90 days, within that time period, we start getting messages, phone calls. I'm not going to retire my dog next year. I've got an extra 2 to 3 years now, thanks to Pet Matrix. And that has everything to do with metabolic energy, freeing up the cellular space by decreasing inflammation, by removing the oxidative stress. Now you have a dog that has more ability to expend its energy in the way that it's supposed to.
Yeah. Now we just need you to cure cancer for dogs, and then we'll be solid, right?
So we have some compounds in our supports like EGCG, quercetin, for example. And if you look at what those compounds actually do as antioxidants, they do battle what's called abnormal cell growth.
That's incredible.
Curcumin too, of course.
Curcumin too?
Yes, but those 2 compounds, along with curcumin, they all do battle abnormal cell growth when they are delivered the right way, because the bioavailability of all of those, including quercetin, curcumin, and EGCG, those compounds have bioavailability issues. And that's why we use them to enhance them with CMD technology to make them maximally bioavailable so that they can do what they do best and combat abnormal cell growth and recreate balance between free radicals, which is what creates cellular damage, and reestablishing the antioxidant to free radical balance beam.
That's incredible.
Yeah, well, it's pretty amazing.
I think you just blew my mind for the night. That was that's incredible. That just made me even more happy about Pet Matrix. So
I love it. I love it.
Was there anything that you would like to leave the listeners with today?
I always love to tell people that you have nothing to lose but your dog's inflammation when you take the leap of faith and start integrating Pet Matrix into your home protocol, whether it's a full Thrive Pack or whether it's one product. If you are that person that maybe a full Thrive Pack isn't for you for whatever reason, and you want to start somewhere, the product that I would recommend starting with on a very basic amount would be starting with Protect. if you are that person that can't do a full Thrive Pack. If you do a full Thrive Pack, oh my gosh, you're going to have a whole experience. It's amazing to support all 3 pillars of canine wellness, and you do get free shipping and a discount on that Thrive Pack bundle as well.
And you can actually use Straight Up Dog Talk's code SUDT20 and save 20% as well. So we'll keep all of that. We'll make sure that all of those details are in the episode notes. And you guys know that you can always reach out to Tanisha and ask questions. She's happy to answer all of your questions related to supplements and Pet Matrix and even diet. She's really good at that too. So we will probably have you back, like in another 6 months, and we'll dive in more. I'm sure you'll have more developments. But I appreciate you, as always, being here with us. And
thank you so much for having me and our team, Pet Matrix. And we just love everything that you're doing too, and sharing all of the information that is not just one in one lane, but in all the lanes. And that's important.
It's important. It really is. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Thank
you. All right, you guys, we will see you next week on Straight Up Dog Talk.
This episode is sponsored by Pet Matrix Premium Canine Supplements. Straight Up Dog Talk is super excited to be partnered with Pet Matrix. After exhausting several other pet supplemental brands, I am now seeing the results that I have always been searching for Toby and Fitz. Pet Matrix supports all 3 pillars of canine wellness using their cell matrix delivery. It delivers nutrition directly into the cell. If you're looking for a supplement that pairs with nature and science, look no further and get your dog on Pet Matrix today. Straight Up Dog Talk was created by Emily Breslin. It is edited, produced, and co-hosted by Josh Wasta under the supervision of Straight Up Dog Talk, LLC, and Emily Breslin. If you're enjoying this podcast, follow or subscribe to be sure you don't miss an episode, and leave us a review on your favorite platform. Looking for more honest and relatable dog content? Check out our sister show, Unpacked, with Jerry Sheriff and Madison Simpson. Thanks for listening to Straight Up Dog Talk. See you next week.